Some key points about the MXXX effects system. It enables you to create your own channel strips and multi-effects and design effects with their included modules, included presets, and they are all mapped to the appropriate categories. The most significant components of the MXXX are the modules. You have over 100 different choices of effects processing systems. These are incredibly high quality processors, and they enable you to create your own customized effects rigs. And from that, you can create your own devices or instruments. And when you use MSoundFactory, you're able to load up all the instruments from MSoundFactory, as well as edit the internal components of the instrument. So here we can see the inner guts of the MSoundFactory instrument. And from here we could rearrange or edit things or remove things as desired. You can also build MSoundFactory instruments from scratch from within MXXX. They have a very unique per voice modulation system. You drag and drop these onto the desired modules and parameters, and you're able to animate them in unique ways. There are extensively deep technologies in all of these components that you can utilize as an instrument or an audio effect. So this is an instrument example where I loaded from AU MIDI controlled effects. And this is an audio example. And as you can see, the GUI is very similar. In fact, it's the same. When you load an MXXX device, you see a panel with controls. You can also additionally edit this device within the MXX system. You can also randomize the presets within a device, if there are presets, using the dice function. Once you are inside the edit mode of an MXXX preset or device, you're able to change the modules individually and randomize them individually, or randomize the presets of a module individually. So a couple significant things about the Melda production plugin architecture for the MXXX especially are the capabilities of the crossover systems and the multi-band. So you can have up to 6 bands to process your sounds. And these bands can be of different kinds. You can have tonal transient bands, spectral bands, mid-side bands, level-based bands, all dependent on your needs. And as you select each of the type of crossover, you will see different options available to adjust those parameters within that style of crossover. You can reduce the number of crossover bands as well. So what happens is, if you have plugins loaded on one band, and then you select the next band, you have a completely new slate available to add another combination of effects as needed. The next very important concept with the Melda production overall architecture are the modulators. The modulators basically animate parameters so that you don't have to turn automation or turn knobs, and they can do very sophisticated rhythmic, envelope, and other modulation-based processing techniques. So for instance, if you load a plugin and then want to modulate, let's say, the input, you would choose Learn, go to the approximate ranges that you want to modulate, deselect Learn, and now you see the ranges are here. You can also finesse them as needed. Once the modulator is enabled, when the plugin plays and a signal is processed, you will see this kick into action. So you would see the input go up and down as it modulates. Of course, the modulators are extensively deep, so you have many ways to change the parameters of the modulator. This is just a shape-based modulator, but there are also follower, envelope, random, and pitch-based modulation. What's key to remember is you're just modulating parameters, and you can choose basically how you do this with the modulator. So for many applications, either an envelope or a normal-based modulator is applicable. You can also, of course, synchronize the modulator so that if you want the input or whatever other parameter, and they are all modulatable, to be modulated by a certain BPM, by a certain BPM range, triplets, by a certain length of measure, etc., etc. And then you can change the triggering as well. You can also add many additional effects to be modulated within the system. Another very important component in the Melda architecture are the MultiParameters. And basically these are just ways to group a variety of functions from various modules so that they are all under one multi-parameters control. This includes the ability to capture some of the things going on within the modulators as well. So we have a similar system where we would choose parameters we want to have under control of the multi-parameter and set each range accordingly with many other functionalities, and a similar way to trigger those multi-parameter behavior. These multi-parameters can be named, and when you name them, they show up as a device button. So when we have the device button created, we now have the ability to quickly access however many parameters we have set up to be able to control whatever features we need in a given system. Very powerful ways to do quick analysis of signals from within our devices in multiple screens, whether we're in the edit screen or whether we're in the main device screen. So we can see what's going on with the audio signal in a variety of ways. Additionally, we can color code those results to help make results more clear and legible. You can add an MXXX within a crossover within MXXX. So here I've initiated another MXXX that is inside the current version of MXXX. So we have all the same presets available. So that's one way to modularly contain something. Additionally, they have modular systems. Then the next one is for 16, and the next one is for 32. And then we also have a selector so that you can choose a certain range of effects processors and then have the capability to rearrange those processors as needed for your effects arsenal. As with the majority of Melda production plugins, you have an included toolbar, which is very handy, convenient, and high quality. You can choose the amount of oversampling. You can choose how the stereo channels are processed or reduce the width of the stereo channels. You can engage the limiter, which is a high quality limiter. You can set the automatic gain control. You can compare modules. You can A/B modules. You can undo, of course. You can save a wave for quick bouncing of your MXXX process, and more. Turn any audio signal into just about anything else with enough time.